Hello, my friend, and welcome to Wisdom Trek. I am Guthrie Chamberlain, your guide to wisdom and creating a living legacy. Thank you for joining us for our 5-day-per-week wisdom and legacy building podcast. This is day 753 of our trek, and time for our Philosophy Friday series. Each Friday, we will ponder some of the basic truths and mysteries of life and how they can impact us in creating our living legacy. As we continue on this trek called life, sometimes we have questions about life. So our Friday trek is a time where we can ask Gramps. Gramps will answer the questions that you may have that you would possibly like to ask your dad or granddad, but for whatever reason, this is not possible. No matter how old you are, I know that all of us would like the opportunity to ask Dad or Gramps questions about life in many areas. We will address areas such as finances, relationships, health and fitness, business and work, home repairs and renovations, seasons of life, spiritual and biblical questions, and any other areas that come our way. As your fellow sojourner and mentor on this trek that we call life, it is my goal to provide you with practical wisdom and advice about any areas of life. It is crucial, though, that I receive a constant flow of questions, so please submit your questions to Guthrie@wisdom-trek.com, and I will answer them on our Friday podcast. We are broadcasting from our studios at the Big House in Marietta, Ohio. Hazel's blood count rebounded enough this week, so she's back at Nationwide's Children's Hospital for her next set of treatments, which include an IV of chemo and steroids, along with another lumbar puncture to administer another type of chemo. This season of life as grandparents to Hazel has been somewhat challenging, since we do not have any control over her battle with leukemia. It does bring us comfort, though, that Nat and Elizabeth are completely engaged and are excellent parents to Hazel and her siblings as she goes through this regimen of treatments, and of course the side effects of them. As grandparents, we are able to engage by assisting with the other kids, their dogs, and other areas to help to alleviate some of the surrounding details of life. As we consider our life, just like the transitions from fall to winter this month, many people struggle with preparing and adapting to the various seasons in their life. So the question for today is, hey Gramps, how can I adjust to the various seasons of life that we all go through so that I can have an even greater impact on others as I go through these seasons of transitions? So today let's look at the seasons of life. Just like the world in which we live, that is comprised of 4 distinct seasons, they are actually transitioning on a daily basis, and so it is with our lives. Our lives are made up of 4 progressively changing seasons. We have our childhood, which is the spring season of life, where everything is new and fresh. Our young adult years are represented by summer, and usually includes getting married, having children, and beginning to build a career. The fall season of life is when the children start to leave home, and it is time for building assets, settling into a pattern of life that may not be quite as rapidly changing and hectic. And the winter season usually begins with a transition from a full-time career to a part-time vocation or hobby, and we can begin to enjoy a slightly slower pace of life, of course depending on the foundation built in the previous seasons. As our culture changes and medical technology extends our lifespan so we can live a quality of life much longer, the seasons of our life are shifting based on our health and expected longevity of life. During the past 100 years, most working adults would consider retiring around 65, but it is feasible now to be productively working well into your 80s and 90s. For those individuals who were not able to build a solid enough financial base during a previous season of life, working much longer may become a necessity that support lifespans that extend several decades longer. Midlife, which we used to consider in our late 40s and early 50s, can now be extended into our mid-60s and well beyond as we look forward to much longer lifespans. Considering these shifts are important as we plan and adjust for the various seasons of life. So how do we adjust to the transitions and the numerous transitions of seasons that we will face during our life? Well, Ecclesiastes chapter 3 verse 1 tells us, "For everything there is a season, a time for every activity under heaven." We have to understand and take ownership of this principle. A life that is rich and satisfying in every season of life is a life where you plan properly. You must understand and take ownership of the law of planting and harvesting. Even as a young teen or even earlier, this concept needs to be learned and then applied before entering adulthood. Life's transitions through the various seasons of life will be much more pleasant if the law of planting and harvesting are learned early, even during the springtime of your life when the seeds which will produce an abundant harvest in the fall should be planted. Transitioning the seasons of life can be difficult at times, but we must continue on with consistent persistence to move through each season of life. As we are told in Galatians chapter 9, verse 6, "So let us not get tired of doing what is good. At just the right time we will reap a harvest of blessing if we do not give up." Some of the ways we can think about this is minimizing debt early in life, and don't take on any debt unless it is an absolute emergency. And this includes college debt. This may require working while you're going to school, stretching your degree pursuit over a longer time span, or finding a lower-cost alternative to obtain a degree. There is certainly no shame in pursuing a solid trade career as opposed to a college degree. In many trades, you can get paid while learning, and you end up with no debt. Next, understand that many things that we purchase are not needs, but wants. Learn to sacrifice now and purchase only what you can pay for in cash. In doing so, the transitions through the seasons of life will be much easier and less stressful. You don't need to live the lifestyle that your parents or grandparents are living now when you are only in the summer of your life. In most cases, they had to work hard many years to achieve that level. This principle actually applies to any season of life, though. Be patient. Be satisfied with what you have today while pursuing what you desire later in life. The best way to adjust to the seasons of life is to prepare for them in advance. I realize that even though you have planned thoroughly, that life can throw you a curveball which is completely out of your control. If this happens, you must pivot and adjust to the new reality. In any situation, you need to accept life as it is, not as you wish it to be, and then plan for this new situation. The most effective way to adjust to the seasons of life so that you can have the greatest impact on the lives of others is to live a life of integrity at all times, to be as debt-free as possible, and then to choose to enjoy your journey. Living a rich and satisfying life is not about the destination, but choosing to enjoy every day. Each season of our year is special, beautiful, and can be enjoyable if we choose to enjoy it. In the same manner, each season of life, even during the transition periods, can be special, beautiful, and enjoyable. Make that your choice. Since this question can cover a multitude of different areas, we will revisit this question in future episodes of Ask Gramps. Next week, though, we'll have a different question to ask Gramps. Gramps will answer any questions that you may have about life and will provide you with practical wisdom about any areas of life. So please submit your questions to Guthrie at wisdom-trek.com, and Gramps will answer them on our Friday podcast with wisdom and philosophy that Gramps has gained over the many years of experience and study. I know that you'll find these insights interesting, practical, and profitable in living a rich and satisfying life. Our next trek will be Mindshift Monday, where we will help you to live differently by thinking differently. So encourage your friends and family to join us, and then come along with us on Monday for another day of Wisdom Trek, Creating a Legacy. If you'd like to listen to any of the past 752 daily treks or read the associated journals, they are all available at wisdom-trek.com. You can also subscribe to iTunes or Google Play so that each day's trek will be downloaded to you automatically. And thank you so much for allowing me to be your guide, your mentor, but most importantly, I am your friend as I serve you through the Wisdom Trek podcast and journal. And as we take this trek of life together, let us always live abundantly, love unconditionally, listen intentionally, learn continuously, lend to others generously, lead with integrity, and then leave a living legacy each day. I am Guthrie Chamberlain, reminding you to keep moving forward, enjoy your journey, and then create a great day every day. See you on Monday.